And welcome to the MAP15 launch party. My name is Maxine Lee, and I'm the operations manager at MAP. I'd like to start off by acknowledging the participating faculties, our partners, mentors, advisory board members, and all our friends from the startup ecosystem. Without your support, we wouldn't be where we are today. I am completely gobsmacked by the attendance and the turnout of tonight's event, and I'm so excited to have all of you here to see some of our startups. We've come a long way with the MAP Startup Accelerator. Up until last year, we invested $320,000 in 16 startups. Those startups then went on to generate over $3.4 million in revenue. They created over 80 jobs for the Australian economy, and they collectively raised over $8 million in funding. The public events, masterclasses, and the Velocity series last year alone generated an audience of over 4,000 people. And this is really pleasing to us because it's enhancing our reach to some of the most talented entrepreneurs in our community. So the structure of tonight will be some quick formalities from us, quickfire updates from the MAP alumni, and pitches from the top eight teams of the MAP15 Startup Accelerator. Before that, I would like to invite Sarah Morgan, who's a representative of our MAP Advisory Board. Sarah is our newest addition to the MAP team, and we're very happy to have her share some of her welcoming remarks. Please join me in welcoming Sarah.
Thanks, Maxine. And I have to reiterate what you said. It's fabulous to have so many people here tonight. Thank you all for coming. What attracted me to MAP was its ability to bring a diverse and intelligent group of people together and to provide a platform to build and grow businesses. By a platform, I mean practical education, access to people with phenomenal experience, a home, and of course cash. The MAP community initiates the motivation for so much change in our world. Change to our culture by creating one more courageous. We encourage all participants to have a go, to not be afraid, but to learn from failures and to move on. A change to our thinking about what makes a successful business. Take a look at Apple. For its ability to create an ecosystem where hundreds of thousands of people can work, learn, and innovate beyond just the company itself. A change to our business community by making real and sustainable forays into the unknown with support from some of the brightest entrepreneurs' minds in the country. Which leads me to my fellow board directors and the remarkable mentors who all volunteer their time to the success of this community. I would like to pay tribute to the MAP Advisory Board. They're all highly successful entrepreneurs with extensive experience establishing, building and selling businesses across a broad range of sectors. But more importantly, they represent a group of people that believe in the entrepreneurial spirit and the contribution it can make to make a better society. Likewise, the MAP mentors. I think there's quite a few here tonight. Can you put your hand up if you're a mentor? There are now a group of 45 mentors, and the number is growing. Thank you for being involved and the time you devote to the MAP programs. You're a fundamental component of MAP and its success. Finally, I'd like to congratulate the participants of MAP15. Well done. You are now part of an exceptional ecosystem, but it's up to you to embrace the opportunity. The mentors aren't lacking in things to do. They have chosen to be part of MAP and support you. Respect that decision by listening and reflecting on their advice. In the same way, your MAP15 participants and MAP alumni can be an invaluable source of ideas and advice. Get to know each other and celebrate your similarities and your differences. MAP has had some remarkable achievements over the last 3 short years. MAP alumni companies have raised over $8 million, created 70 jobs, and generated over $3.5 million in revenue. I hope that by tapping in to some of the brightest minds in the country, MAP can continue to make a real and sustainable difference to Melbourne and the Australian business community. Welcome to MAP 2015, and thank you for your support.
All right, next up, I'd like to invite Rowan Workman, the Director of Entrepreneurial Programs. Please join me in welcoming Rowan.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is absolutely phenomenal. I'm kind of gobsmacked, as Maxine said, by the sheer volume of people here. I didn't know that we had that many people who are that passionate about entrepreneurship, but clearly we do, and that's fantastic to see. I'm going to be brief with the formalities because I know that we do have a lot of people standing in the wings there, but there are some groups of people that I would like to thank. First of all, I'm very excited to announce that as of yesterday, we have secured ANZ as a corporate partner for MAP. And tonight we have Gavin and Matt from ANZ, and we are, Gavin and Matt, very grateful for your support, very excited by your support, and I'd like to invite Gavin to come up here and share some remarks on what ANZ is doing to support the startup ecosystem. So please welcome Gavin Heathcote from the ANZ.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to share tonight with you. ANZ's pleased to be an angel partner for the MAP program. Startups and entrepreneurs are very important to the growth of the Australian economy, and I think we've seen that recently in the direction from the government budget. And we've had a close relationship at ANZ with this sector for a number of years. Interestingly, many Australians don't think that banks lend to startups. 40% of businesses said that access to finance was one of the greatest challenges in the first 3 years of operation. ANZ, you may have seen, as a result of the skill of our marketing team, have pledged to lend $2 billion to show that we do back new small business. And since launching our $2 billion pledge, we've helped over 8,000 businesses start up and countless more to continue to grow and evolve. And the other commonly known thought around the bank's lending in the startup space is that we approve 7 out of 10 of lending applications that we look at for startup businesses. We've also designed a special banking package to support startups, and as part of that offering, it's about providing our startup customers with insights, skills to build their financial literacy, as well as what you'd expect in terms of banking products with discounts and product offering. So ANZ supports startups in more ways than just banking. We've recently worked with our own startup customer, Blue Dot, to use their technology to build our new foreign exchange app. And we've recently been testing some functionality with ECAL, who are a winner from the 2014 Big Pitch event. We really look forward to working with MAP We like to think that even though we are a bank, we are entrepreneurial in the way we think and in our spirit, and that's certainly something that differentiates ANZ. We can't wait to be becoming actively involved in this program and working with hopefully what we see are like-minded entrepreneurs. So thanks very much for your time. Cheers.
Thanks, Gavin. And I believe ANZ is the only bank that provides unsecured lending. Just saying. I would also like to acknowledge Google for their support. They are also another angel partner of MAP. They've been phenomenal. We have a fantastic relationship with Google. They host us in Sydney and they host us in Silicon Valley. And Sally Ann Williams has been fantastic to us as well. She's based in Sydney and couldn't be here tonight, but thank you to Google as well. We're very excited to have both Google and ANZ partnering with MAP for this year and hopefully many more years to come. ANZ's logo isn't in the brochure because we only closed this deal yesterday, but you can be rest assured that they will be quite prevalent, and we look forward to working with them as well to find out what kind of packages ANZ can offer to best suit startups. The next group that I would like to thank are the faculties that provide their support to MAP. MAP is the only program at the University of Melbourne that started in one faculty and then moved to the other faculties because they saw the benefit in it. We started in the School of Engineering in 2012. In 2013, we joined the Faculty of Business and Economics and the Melbourne Business School. And last year we welcomed the Faculty of Arts, the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Health Sciences, and the Faculty of Architecture, Building and Planning. This year we have included, and are very grateful for the support of the Melbourne Law School and the Victorian College of Arts and the Melbourne Conservatorium of Music, which is phenomenal. We have 7 of the 10 faculties from the university signed up. So if you're a representative from one of those other 3 faculties, I would welcome the opportunity to discuss your participation in MAP 2016 after the speeches are done. To our advisory board and mentors, we are delighted and incredibly grateful for your support. Without your support, the program just wouldn't be anything like what it is. Our advisory board and our mentors are the backbone of what we do. I would also like to thank the MAP team, Charlie and Thas, for their leadership and for their counsel, Wen, Maxine and Costin, and also our latest additions to the MAP team, Shui and Hugh, who have been so supportive and really working very tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure this event is a success. And before I finish up, I'd just like to I guess, get up here and say a couple of things about the state of affairs around entrepreneurship in Melbourne. We all know about Cochlea, Wi-Fi, the Black Box Flight Recorder, Seek, REA Group and car sales. We all know about the billion-dollar companies that have started out of Melbourne and have done phenomenally well. But what are lesser known are some of the companies that we don't celebrate as much, yet are phenomenal success stories. There's a company called Envato just down the road in King Street. It is a marketplace for content for web developers. They are the only Australian website in the top 100, as ranked by the Alexa rankings, and a transaction happens on their platform once every 6 seconds. They are doubling in size every 18 months. This is a phenomenal company, yet we don't celebrate its success as much as we do the other startups. We also have Aconex, which listed on the stock exchange recently, 99 Designs, which received $35 million in funding from the same venture capital firm that funded Facebook. Pepperstone, a company started by 2 25-year-olds about 5 years ago, who's going to make 2 30-year-olds now about $300 million each richer. And that is a company that not only provides wealth to its founders, but creates wealth for Australia in terms of taxes it pays, contribution to GDP and employment. Catapult Sports, which is a global leader in GPS tracking for elite sports teams. Black Magic, which has been phenomenally successful in providing digital cameras to the film industry. And closer to home, Fibretech, which was sold last year to Shire for a multi-million-dollar deal that we're quite pleased pocketed the University of Melbourne quite a lot of money. And I think that it'd be really exciting to start talking about some of these startups as the next generation. But imagine if you had the opportunity to see any of those companies that I've just imagined when they were at grassroots level, on the ground floor. And this is what MAP is all about tonight. MAP is about giving some startup companies the opportunity to be that next company that we use as a benchmark example of what Australians and Melburnians have in them around creativity, entrepreneurship and courage to pick an idea and back themselves to have a crack at it. So tonight, without further ado, I'd like to hand it back over to Maxine so that hopefully you can see some of the best companies that we have to offer, and in 5 or 10 years' time, you can reflect that you once saw one of those companies at the very earliest stage. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. It's great to see so many of you tonight. Thank you.
Great. Now moving on to the pitch updates from some of our alumni. They'll be sharing with you some quickfire updates about where they are today, what progress they've made from MAP, and they'll be quickfire because if you aren't quick with your presentations, I'll fire you. So first off, I was hoping people would laugh at that one. First off, we have Paul from Swatchmate, a team that went through MAP in 2013. Please join me in welcoming Paul.
Thanks, Max. This one's going to be quickfire. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see so many of you here. My name is Paul Peng. I'm the one of the co-founders of Swatchmate and also the head of business development. So the last 6 to 12 months have been a busy time. Late in 2014, we kicked off product design and development of a new product in exclusive partnership with one of the largest paint manufacturers in Australia. We also expanded the reach of our flagship product, Cube, through distribution agreements in Europe and North America. In early 2015, we closed a round of capital of $1 million through a group of private investors and have since grown the team from 3 to 8 people, which makes for a bit more conversation. But we'd like to thank MAP for continuing to support us through these busy times. And obviously welcome to the new MAP teams, and we hope to mingle with you soon.
Cool. I'll just jump up here. Hi, everyone. My name is Trent Clues-de-Castella, co-founder and CEO of Scanned. So I'm sure we can all agree that the startup life has its ups and downs. Well, I'd like to say that our journey in the last 12 months has resembled something a little bit more similar to one of those roller coasters where your feet are hanging down and you're whirling around at 200 kilometers an hour. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we've been having an incredibly good time. In the last 12 months, we've actually visualized 500 homes, apartments, heritage sites and venues across the country. And for those of you who don't actually know what we do, we're a 3D scanning service that go into a house or any interior space and turn into a 3D model. We've managed to actually secure a partnership with Australia's one of Melbourne's leading real estate agencies, Jellis Craig, and we've managed to work alongside realestate.com.au and Domain to make sure that our content is positioned front and centre. And as we do so each time, we find greater engagement, online traffic and buyer inquiry. We are now a handsome group of 10 hungry mouths. And what I mean by hungry is in the sense that I've somehow found myself surrounded by a bunch of passionate and inspiring individuals who are all incredibly eager to shake things up. Recently, we've also actually pushed into creating solutions and services for properties off the plan with something really exciting that's set to launch next month. And lastly, after having learned a whole lot in the last year, we're now actually entering our first stage of investment. And so I guess in summary, the little pieces of advice I'd have for this year's intake is 3 key things. Firstly, no matter what, stay true to yourselves. Be sure to focus on what drives you and make sure you strap yourself in because it's going to be one hell of a ride. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shane Batty from Pathabin. Thousands of pathologists are now using pathabin.com to teach, research and diagnose pathology cases. They're capturing these cases using our iPhone app with our smartphone microscope adapter, and some are even whole slide images captured with our robot on all sorts of microscopes. None of this I and every other pathologist in the world would have thought was possible not so long ago, but it is now, thanks to my team. They're somewhere here tonight. Indra, oh, there they are. Indra, Raven, Geeta, and Felix, and the MAP people that brought us here as well. Just last week, we won both the Medtronic Award and People's Choice Award at STC Australia's MedTech's Got Talent final. And we're now pursuing industrial design with outer space design in Richmond. So for these opportunities to MAP and the university, we are extremely grateful. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Andrew. I'm from Financial Ask. We're making financial advice easy to get through apps and the web. So since last year, I'm happy to say that we've got our product out there and we're very close to securing a deal with one of Australia's largest financial advice companies. Can't give too many details about that now, but hopefully we'll be able to soon. I'd like to call out MAP to thank them for their incredible support. They really are champions. They're pretty much the best people we've ever met. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Rowan, Maxine, and Wen in particular for all their time and help. Thank you all.
My name is Philip Goebel. I'm one of the co-founders of Quanticare Technologies. We are building a walking frame with an integrated sensor to help prevent falls in the elderly. It's been 6 months since the official end of the MAP program, and since then we have, let me try to get this in chronological order. We won a $100,000 prize from Johnson & Johnson through their Health and Technology Challenge, which led to a signed collaboration agreement with Johnson & Johnson. We hired our first full-time employee. We've built and field tested prototypes for validation purposes, and our initial data is showing that we're beating all our nearest competitors on accuracy. We're currently finishing up 3 streams of work in preparation for our first seed round of funding, and we're deepening our relationship with Johnson & Johnson as they're interested in the application of our technology perioperatively for joint replacement surgeries. MAP has been integral in our progress to date, and we're looking forward to meeting and mingling with the new startups. Thanks.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ivan, and I'm one of the co-founders of Brossa. We're the Zara or Warby Parker for designer furniture. Since MAP, we've grown from a ragtag bunch of 2 people to a team of 8. We've gone through our first Christmas, which was a great learning experience, and established our own office in Abbotsford and warehouse. We're on track this year for more than $2 million worth of revenue this financial year. And we've also launched out our first sub-brand, which is Greywing, which is premium mattresses delivered in a golf bag-sized box to any home in Australia. If you haven't heard, we've launched out sleepwithgreywing.com.au, which is a nice little cheeky Tinder campaign. If you'd like to sleep with Greywing, you can win your own Greywing by putting in your favorite pickup line, and Greywing might choose you. We'd like to thank MAP. MAP continues to be a great support for us. For those of you who don't know, MAP is a great place to actually get talent. Rowan was very kind to allow us to poach Boston Sephora, who was an associate at MAP, who's now a full-time member of our team and is a very valued member. Yeah, I know. It took 5 months to convince him, but I got there. And also very happy to say that we're ANZ customers as well. So like Rowan said, we've heard about those unsecured loans. So we're very, very happy customers. Thank you.
We also have an update from Joe Hanna from X Labs, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. He's on business in Hong Kong, so I'll be giving the update for X Labs. Since joining MAP, X Labs has applied its technology to a range of business verticals, primarily online user experience testing, computer games, and medical research. To date, over 2,300 people have downloaded their free Chrome browser extension. They have a stable user base of close to 600 people on a weekly basis, analysis and are keen to continue helping developers add head, eye, and gaze control to online content. The trial of their eyesdecide.com gaze tracking service was released in the fourth quarter of 2014. They also met with a range of partners, customers, and investors during the MAP trip to Silicon Valley last year and collaborated with the Cerebral Palsy Education Centre in Melbourne to provide them with accessibility software. X Labs will be relaunching a MVP version of their service in the third quarter of this year, so watch this space. That's the update from X Labs. Now, on to the pitches that you've all been waiting for, the teams from the MAP15 Startup Accelerator this year. In 2015, we received 61 online applications, 33 teams went on to pitch night, 16 went through to the selection interview, and we're thrilled to have our top 8 teams with us here tonight. The format will be 3-minute pitches from each team. We won't be having Q&A during this time, but feel free to approach the teams afterwards if you have any questions for them. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Kyle Slater from NeuroLoop to kick off tonight's presentations.
Pretend you didn't see this. Well, good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. I'd like to start off tonight with a little bit of audience participation. Could I get a show of hands from everyone who is long-sighted? A couple of you. How about everyone who is short-sighted? Okay. How about everyone with a 15 dB hearing loss at 4 kilohertz? A 15 dB hearing loss at 4 kilohertz. The point is, isn't it amazing how much more we know about our eyes than we do about our ears? It's crazy. We love sound. We love music. It connects us to the world and it connects us to each other. But because we don't know our ears, we tend not to think about hearing loss as a spectrum. Instead, we tend to think about people who have normal hearing and people who have a hearing problem. Well, the reality is that we all hear differently. But don't just take it from me. I'm going to demonstrate that to you tonight. I'm about to play a sample of music as I would hear it, and then as my colleague Luke over here would hear it. Luke? All right. So I'm hoping that you heard the difference. But really, I mean, how do headphones account for this? How do they account for the fact that normal hearing listeners, which Luke and I both are, clinically, hear differently? Well, they actually don't. Headphones are a one-size-fits-all solution. Doesn't make a lot of sense. They can't customise the sound for your hearing. Well, that's where NeuroLoop comes in. We're developing the world's first personalised headphones. Our headphones can actually sense how you hear, the sounds that you're missing, and put this back into the music that you play. We're creating the first personalised audio experience in the same way that glasses created a personalised visual experience. People will buy these headphones because they sound better for them. Now, there are 350 million headphones sold every year in a market that's growing at 10% per annum, and has done for the past 6 years. It's now worth $10 billion, and there's a growing trend towards devices with advanced enhancement features. So let's look at the market. These are the major players. These are the major brands. They all have wireless. They all have noise cancellation. And they all have inline microphones and inline remotes. There is no point of differentiation, except for Dr. Dre. So what we're doing is we're adding personalised sound, right? It's the new noise cancellation for headphones. So that's what NeuroLoop can offer. And over the next 12 months, what we're going to do is refine our technology, protect it, with a view to license. We have an amazing team. David Sly, auditory neuroscientist, Luke Campbell, trainee ear, nose and throat surgeon, and myself, electronic engineer. We're combining 25 years of hearing science to creating the best personal consumer audio experience. So tonight we would love to talk to product developers. We'd love to speak to people who are involved in any way in the consumer audio industry. And of course we'd love to hear from investors as well. We do intend on holding a funding round in the next 6 months. We're NeuroLoop and we hear you. Thank you.
Next up, we have Dutch and Nick from Hypetap. Please join me in welcoming them.
It's just me, by the way. Nick's not here. Get back. Hi, guys. My name's Detch, and I'm a co-founder at Hypetap. I'd like to start by introducing you to Laura. Now, she's got a huge following on social media, and her subscribers really care about what she has to say. She's an influencer. Now, brands, PR agencies, and media agencies are always looking for people like Laura to help promote products and services. So much so, in fact, that it's a $2.7 billion market growing at 25% year on year. But it's not that simple. Laura's actually got a very specific style of content, and she's quite particular about the brands that she works with. And on the brand side, it's equally important for them to find the right influencers for their campaigns. And this leads to 3 major problems that brands are facing and marketers are facing in the space. The first of these being that it takes ages to find the right influencers for your campaign. The second problem is that once you find the right influencers, it can be actually very complex to manage these campaigns over hundreds of emails with all of them. And the third problem is that it's error-prone and time-consuming to actually log all the results for these campaigns manually. There's nothing out there that gives you influencer-specific metrics for these kinds of campaigns in real time. And what that results in is millions of dollars in wasted productivity and lost marketing opportunities. In fact, clients on Hypetap are saving between 3 to 5 days per campaign by using our platform. And I'd like to tell you why. So Hypetap helps with the discovery process by giving marketers access to our invitation-only network of influencers and our powerful search tools. We also have a seamless step-by-step workflow that lets you project manage the entire campaign end to end. And of course, your results do just show up for you in real time, reflecting reach, engagement, and relative influencer performance. We're actually running a closed beta or test phase at the moment with just over 40 brands, including the likes of Hilton Worldwide, Uber, Etsy, and BellaBox, amongst others. And on the influencer side, we've got over 570 invitation-only influencers getting access to some of the best brands around the world. And they've got an aggregate reach of over 45 million potential consumers, all targetable by demographic. We make money through 12-month subscriptions, and we are already cash flow positive. And we've got a team of people with strong business and software development backgrounds. And if you look at the competitive environment, we have the strongest workflow tools in the space, and we're also the most focused on enabling advocacy from our tools rather than product placement. It's also worth noting that we are the only platform in the Asia-Pacific region within this market segment. So if you work in marketing or for a media agency or in PR, or you're simply just interested in influencer outreach, please do come and speak with us. We'd love to speak with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dutch. Dutch and Nick normally do these cute duo presentations where they bounce off each other, so I was expecting that tonight. Next up, we have Herc Kalis from NoteXchange.
Thanks, Max. Good evening, everyone. I'm Herc from NoteXchange. We're an online platform that helps to facilitate peer-to-peer learning through the exchange of student notes. So student classes are getting bigger, they're getting more diverse, and as a result, they're becoming less intimate. So this is a problem because collaborative learning helps to enhance and accelerate the learning process. So NoteXchange is here to encourage peer-to-peer collaboration through student notes. Let's take Kyle, for instance. He goes to class every week, he makes great notes, and he uploads them to our platform. Now, we've got on the other side, we've got students, well, when they go onto the platform, we check them for copyright, IP laws, just to make sure Melbourne Uni's okay with it. And then on the other side of this, we've got other students like Rowan, for instance. He might go to class, he might read the textbook, He might go to the tutorials, but sometimes it doesn't all click for him. So he jumps onto NoteXchange and he finds Carl's notes. These notes here are incredibly powerful because they give a student voice to the material that's coming from a lecturer and that's coming from the textbook. So our business model is made to encourage Carl to promote his material. And every time Carl produces something and tells his class about it, we give Carl 100% commission on all his sales. And if Carl just wants to drop his material and leave, that's fine as well. We'll take a 50% cut. Thanks, Carl. So our market, we started in VCE, which is year 12. And we take students who produce great notes in VCE and we have them upload their material to the platform. But the real value of these students is that we use them as our first sellers at the university level. We're also looking at China as a follow-on market with a huge growing number of students over there. So we launched in January, and since then we've seen a huge repurchase rate, and this is to do with the quality of notes that our sellers have produced. We've also had partnerships with MBS and also the International Society, and this is because they want to help their students. So since altering our commission-based model to 100%, which was in April, we've seen sales skyrocket. Well, kind of. Okay. In terms of competition, we're in a growing market where we think there'll be multiple winners. So we're unique in the sense that we offer students their own profile, their own stall, their opportunity to be an entrepreneur. And we're also unique in the fact we give them 100% commission. So our team comprises of myself and Robbie. We're both engineers. We both have some technical experience, and we have a sales background. So we're NoteXchange. We're an online platform that helps to facilitate peer-to-peer learning. We're interested in speaking to anybody who wants to encourage collaborative learning, who understands the space of education, and who wants to lift the standard at Melbourne. Thank you.
Next up, we have Bevan Main from IRA Biotech.
Hi, my name is Bevan. I'm from IRA Biotech, and tonight I'd like to talk to you about our new nanocarrier technology to help patients who are currently suffering from hearing loss. Now, hearing loss is a major problem, with approximately 250 million people worldwide currently suffering from some spectrum of hearing loss, ranging from mild to severe. Now, with our ageing population, this number is expected to increase. However, currently we don't have any one-size-fits-all effective therapy for this whole spectrum of hearing loss. So we have to ask the question of, why is treating hearing loss so difficult? Now, to answer this question, we have to go to everyone's best friend, and that's science. And we have to have a look at what is the underlying cause of this hearing loss. And when we have a look at this, what we actually find is that it's caused by the death of specific cells called neurons in an area of the inner ear called the cochlea. Now, there's currently therapies out there that we know keeps these neurons alive and stop your hearing loss from progressing. However, the big problem is that we can't deliver these therapies to where they're needed most, in the cochlea. So obviously the major problem that we need to solve here is a drug delivery method. And that's where we come in. We've devised a nanocarrier technology that has a novel structure that encompasses this therapy and can get it through the harsh conditions of the inner ear to where it needs to go. Some key advantages of this technology is that our targeted design of many layers allows it to pass many membranes and get into the cochlea. We also believe that it is low cost compared to other competitors who are looking in this market space. And currently we've investigated that we have freedom to operate with our nanocarrier due to the commercial availability of the polymers that are required to construct it. More importantly, we envisage a non-invasive approach in the future. Hopefully you can go to your GP's office, get a quick, simple and pain-free injection through the inner ear, through the eardrum with our hydrogel nanocarrier to treat your hearing loss. Our market opportunity is twofold. Firstly, we're looking at those people suffering from temporary hearing loss, which currently equates to 5 in every 100,000 people. Our second market is those suffering from long-term or permanent hearing loss. And here we think we can use our nanocarrier as an adjunct therapy to increase the effectiveness of cochlear implants, which at the moment 6 in every 100,000 people are eligible for. The core team that can bring this technology to you is Stephen, who is a biochemical polymer engineer, Joanna, who's a clinical audiologist, myself, who is an expert in CNS pharmacology, and also our business manager, Tristan Lawrence. So tonight, what we're asking for is support and expertise from anyone that has experience in this biotechnology startup area to help us get to the next phase of preclinical development with the eye on the future of having therapies for those people who have inhibited hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bevan. And for anyone who has been tweeting during the night, feel free to add a hashtag MAP15 to your Twitter post. Next up, we have Wilton and Kellen from MobileKamu.
I remember watching a movie about this man who built this beautiful bridge that is used by roughly 11,000 people every day. Each one of them, by using this bridge, each one of them actually saved 1 hour and 20 minutes. And over 22 years, that is a total savings of 1,200 years. Well, I was fascinated. For me, technology is the bridge. It makes life easier and efficient. And one of the best examples of this is car sales. Imagine us as an Australian, how much time have we saved by using this site? We don't have to go through dealers after dealers anymore to find our car. But the question really is, instead of having one car sales, we're having 15 different car sales, like what happened in Indonesia. And on top of that, you have, instead of juggling those 15 different sites on your laptop, you're actually juggling those 15 different sites, not on your iPhone 5, but on your iPhone 3 or maybe BlackBerry, with an internet connection that is 3 times slower than the one in this building. Well, I can tell you, it's a nightmare, and you definitely don't want to be in that situation. But guess what? 250 million Indonesians that are trying to find car online at the moment are actually facing this problem.
The solution we offer is simple. We have no cars on our website. Instead, we allow Indonesians to spend 2 minutes of their time to input their car details, and within 1 day, our dealer partners will contact them to provide them their dream car at their dream price. The market we are providing this solution to is huge. There is an annual and rapidly growing 3 million car buyers in Indonesia and 22,000 car dealers throughout Indonesia selling to these car buyers. We generate our revenue by charging these dealers a $100 monthly subscription fee to have access to our platform, as well as an additional $75 commission for each car sold through our platform. Looking forward, when we can manage to capture 4,400 dealers, this will generate $17 million in annual revenue for our company. And do you know what the best thing about this revenue is? The profit margin. If we look at just an individual car buyer using our website to get them from going into our website to the point where they actually convert with one of our dealer partners, this whole process costs us just $3.67. And what do we get in return? $75 for every car sold. Tonight, we're looking for any experienced developers who are enthusiastic about helping us solve this problem, as well as any strategic investors who can help us rapidly accelerate our growth. We're MobileKamu, and we're helping you to find your car easily and efficiently. Thank you.
Next up, we have Val from Electrify.
Hi, my name is Valentin, my co-founder's name is Daniel, and we're Electrify, making energy storage affordable. Mobile phones, laptops, electric cars. Rechargeable batteries are everywhere. By the way, I love how saying mobile phones gets everyone to go, what? So these batteries, what few people realize is that they have incredible value after they've been used in their first application. The reason for that is, when we have a laptop, once it's down to an hour or two of runtime, well, we sort of get very frustrated with it, and so we throw it away, buy a new one. In an electric car, if the range drops below 100 kilometers, we get really nervous. Are we going to be able to make all our commutes? And so we go and get the battery replaced. What even fewer people realize is that those batteries still have incredible value for applications like solar storage. So luckily, some companies like Nissan are starting to realize it. When early adopters return their cars, their electric cars, and come in or need to exchange the batteries go through a reprocessing cycle and then go into some sort of second life application where they can contribute to our well-being. I mean, renewable energy storage is something that's really valuable for us as a society. The bad news is that the processing is very labor intense. So we're talking 24 hours per battery system. And as a result, these second life batteries are incredibly expensive. In fact, not that much cheaper than a Tesla Powerwall, which, let's face it, looks a little bit prettier, right? The reason why it's so labor intense, let me explain that via an analogy. So, like a chain, batteries start off their life in a pristine condition. And like a chain, during its life, they get nicked here and there, and it's those individual weak links that limit the strength of the entire string. So what companies like Nissan are doing is when someone returns a battery, they go through, scrutinize every single link, figure out which ones are the weak ones, and exchange those. You can imagine, super labor intensive, right? Now, what if you had an intelligent chain, right? So the weaker links determine themselves which ones they are and manage to team up to keep the strength of the chain as high as possible. That would be pretty amazing. Now, intelligent chains aren't possible, but intelligent batteries are, and that's what we've developed. So by coupling intelligent algorithms with a network of switches, we can control cells on an individual level. Not only does it solve the weakest link problem, but it means that instead of throwing those weaker links away, we can still utilize them to whatever capacity they have available. The result is huge. So we cut down the reprocessing time by something like 80%. We reckon we can cut down the cost of second life batteries by about half. And as an added bonus, because we can treat any weakest links that develop during their life, we also extend the life by quite a bit. To give you some numbers, there are 160,000 electric cars in the form of Nissan Leafs on the road today, and the battery in each is worth about $6,000 in the second life application. By making the packs cheaper and last longer, we stand to unlock something like $300 million. And that's one model of electric car, and we've made conservative assumptions. The market for this is big and growing. So it's valued at around $1 billion today, and it's expected to grow tenfold in the next 5 years alone. Dan, my co-founder, has an engineering background and has been involved in scaling a fintech startup from 3 people to a 15-person company. I'm putting finishing touches on a PhD in battery system, and in the past have led projects on energy storage at BMW, IBM, and a few startups. We have patented some of the technology already. We've demonstrated the concept on a small prototype. Over the next 6 months, we'll be building a larger scale prototype to demonstrate the value proposition and also file further IP that we have in the pipeline. By the end of the year, we plan to raise a seed funding round and establish the partnerships necessary to make this happen. Now, we think this is an awesome idea. A bunch of other people we've talked to think this is an awesome idea, and we really hope that so do you. Before I wrap up, there's 3 things that we could use help with. One is contacts in the energy industry, storage industry. We really want to talk to people. Second thing is contacts in electrification out in developing countries like Indonesia, India, because they are amazing potential markets for us. And last but not least, we'll need to bring more hands on deck quite soon. So we're looking for people ideally with a hardware background, but more importantly, with a passion for shaping the future of energy. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Kishan Thurarasa from JobUp.
Hi everyone, my name is Kish. I am one of the founders of JobUp, and we are building the world's fastest and highest quality ICT recruitment platform. Now, I've made this incredibly accurate and factual graph for you all tonight. Right now, an employer typically has 2 options when they're hiring a candidate. Online job boards are incredibly time-consuming for an organization. Their next option is a recruitment agency, which basically delivers a very sketchy experience for both sides of the market.
Now, when Nick and I decided to tackle this problem, we didn't just want to improve on each of these, we wanted to make a giant leap forward. And tonight, I give you JobUp. Up and to the right. So this is the typical process an organisation goes through when they're employing a candidate. We basically allow an organisation to drop into the interview stage. We provide curated shortlists unique to each employer. And this is how the magic happens. We allow candidates to apply once to JobUp. From there, we assess every single candidate based on their work experience, projects they've built, their GitHub accounts, all of it. They're then able to schedule interviews with employers over the next 2 weeks. So what does this mean for an employer? Basically, we bring the time to hire down to 14 days. Now, this is huge within the ICT industry. The roles that we've been placing candidates in typically take upwards of 60 days for an employer to fill. Now, the team behind it is Nick and I. We bond over creating incredible experiences for incredible people. Currently, we've got a customer spending well over $2 million a year on recruitment fees. We're tackling the ICT segment of $800 million, which is part of an $11.2 billion market within Australia. We charge 12% of the first year's salary. We spread it out over the first 12 months, so at least our motivations are aligned with the employers and connecting them with long-term hires. These are some of the organisations we've already placed candidates with or are looking to place candidates over the next few weeks. And these are the verticals we'll be looking to adventure into in the near future. So right now we're looking for rockstar devs and ICT employers that are looking to hire rockstar devs. So if you know anyone, send them our way. Thank you. And shout out to all the people that are standing tonight. I appreciate it.
Last but not least, we have Michael Nuciforov from Parkhound.
Hi, I'm Michael, one of the co-founders of Parkhound. We connect drivers with great parking. The problem with parking is best summed up by an old Japanese proverb. The fish that lives in a well knows nothing of the ocean. There's a whole ocean of parking out there, but you don't know where it is or how much it costs unless you have direct line of sight. This lack of transparency leads to expensive parking and frustrated drivers. So what we've done is remove this frustration for drivers by putting this whole ocean of parking online. We allow residential property owners, people like you and me, to lease out their garage or driveway. We allow commercial car parks like Wilson and Secure to rent out their empty spaces. And in a world first, we've mapped street parking restrictions, giving drivers a bird's eye view of where they can park. Our business model is simple. We take a 10% fee for a confirmed booking. Our average long-term booking value is $1,070. And this is drivers looking for parking near work or their place of study. Average short-term booking is worth $28. And this is people looking for parking near an event or a night out. Globally, the parking industry is worth $130 billion. Within Australia, it's valued at $1.5 billion. And we have just the team to bring this ocean of parking online. Louise, who looks after operations, is passionate about delivering a great customer experience. Robert, who looks after product, was previously Group Product Manager at Census and managed a portfolio of digital assets worth over $260 million a year. And I look after technology. I launched mobile banking at ANZ, RBS, and Lloyds in the UK. And my apps have been used by over 10 million people. With this team, over the last 6 months, we've delivered some really exciting results without any marketing spend. Sessions on our site are growing at 30% month on month, and the volume of parking spaces is growing at 65%. We now have over 3,000 parking spaces that you can find and pay for online. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. In terms of current sales, we get $30,000 worth of bookings a week, of which 10,000 is converted into a confirmed booking. Over this period, we've also partnered with commercial car parks to drive new income, including Care Park, Australia's largest parking provider by volume. We've also partnered with GoGet, the car sharing company, to provide off-street parking in high-demand locations. But in such a big industry, there is competition. Divvy and Just Park are focused on residential properties. Within the US, Streetline is focused on street parking. But Parkhound is the only company that allows drivers to navigate across the full range of on and off-street parking. Through the MAP program, we're looking for iPhone and Android app developers to help us revamp our app. We're also interested in speaking to people at Melbourne University involved in smart city and town planning, because we think our technology can make cities more efficient. And finally, if you've got a driveway or garage at your home, feel free to list it on our site. You can earn up to $3,000 a year. With your help, Parkhound can get out of the well and into the ocean. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Now that wraps up the presentations for this evening, but before I go, I'd like to thank a few key people in the room who have stood behind MAP and driven its success. In particular, the directors of MAP, Charlie Day, Thas Nirmalathas, and Rowan Workman for being absolutely phenomenal in your leadership. Thank you also to the MAP team, Wen, Costin, Hugh, and Shui, for your contributions in making this program a success. And to all of you present tonight, please stick around and grab a drink and a canapé and join us for the celebration. Thank you so much for attending, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.